Hello, my name is Pernille Øverjordet, and I'm now a third-year bachelor student at the Department of Product Design at Oslo Met. This paper is about letting the nature take over and guide the design process. Through the ages, humans have drawn inspiration from nature. It is seen in art, design, and architecture. Nature is inexhaustible for inspiration, and different individuals find new things that inspire them. This visual study explores and experiments with nature, temperature, and digital design. So this is the abstract and the steps I took in the process, starting with the material, then freezing it, photographing it, then taking it over to the PC and manipulating it in Photoshop, then printing it on the textile printer, and then seeing the results. This is the printer I'm using, and it can print 150 centimeter wide materials and as long as you want. Through January and February it was 17 minus here in Oslo, and using the Norwegian winter to my advantage, I froze large baking trays with water and textile outside overnight. After frozen, they turned out as large blocks of ice after taking them out of the tray. I placed them against natural lighting source, this to capture every detail when photographing. In my design education program as a bachelor student, I often experience that there's strict rules and you always need to be on schedule in the design process. In this process, rather than following a design schedule, I got carried away using the tactile senses and emotions the material gave away. The visual method and documentation were essential. Nature has its own way of creating things, and it is difficult to get these expressions by hand. I took the pictures into Photoshop and then manipulated the colors to get interesting motifs I can print on scarves. Here is a blue design, and the intended focus was to see nature's own aesthetic and expression. After I did the work in Photoshop, I printed it on the digital textile design printer, and it came out like this. Here is a visualization of the finished results. So the pink and green one is floating in the water, and the blue one is displayed on the model. So due to COVID, the workshop closed again, and I needed to do the best of the situation. Using the cold weather again to my advantage, I froze the textile outside, letting the process guide new tactility and interesting refractions. So here is a movie of close-up of the textile. You can see how it's flowing and it's trapped inside the ice. The aim was to create new tactile surfaces and the abstract patterns only nature can create. The silk floated in the water, dancing calmly before it was trapped in its motion. The cold controlled ice is an interesting contrast to the light silk. When you break it, it changes to a beautiful uncontrolled pattern of geometrical shapes, and the motif and patterns bring an interesting life to the ice and textile. Points of reflection. Workshop closing forced me to think differently. And this approach has helped me as a bachelor student taking risks in the design process. As a design student, I have often felt trapped in the rigid process, the pressure having too many walls around and being in the right part of the process has sometimes staggered my creativity. But when I let the process guide me, I experienced more creativity. The slow process helped me as a designer to reflect. When I waited to get the results to happen, both when printing and waiting for the water to freeze, I got more time to reflect about the decisions and what will happen. Using nature can give you associations and beautiful patterns. unique patterns that enrich emotional attachment. When a designer feels something about the product they make, history gets written. So I've experienced that a lot of buyers and consumers, if they know more about the product and the history, maybe they will get, they will want to keep them longer. If the textile wake feelings in me and others, maybe we will keep them longer. So it was, yeah, what I said. So thank you very much for your attention, and this is my contact information. Bye.